We want to turn our attention now to the economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up around 12,000 for the first time in 3 years. Jobless claims, however, jumped unexpectedly last week. So when you look at these two sides, does it mean the economy is getting any better for the average American? To help give us the bullet points here is CBS News business and economics correspondent Rebecca Jarvis. And we spoke yesterday about the Dow coming up above 12,000 for a little bit. It's failed to close above 2,000 2 days in a row. And you told us we should expect it to come back down a little bit.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. The jobs numbers, as you mentioned, they're not great. And they continue to be not great. So there's that culprit, as well as housing not being in a great place, but having some forward momentum. The issue right now on Wall Street is how far we've come in a very short period of time. If you look at where the Dow was just 2 months ago, it was actually 1,000 points lower than where it is right now. That 1,000-point jump, typically speaking, is a thing that you'll see, and then you'll see a pullback in the market. So traders will tell you, listen, I've seen stocks go a long way. I'm going to take what's known as some profits, which means I'm going to sell some stocks, and I'm going to get back in the market once things come down a little bit. So for the average investor, what that basically means is we could see a bit of a pullback here in the near term. It's one of the reasons why we may have not seen a big surpass of that 12,000.
But it's not necessarily a bad sign if you're looking at this, or if you're even watching for your 401k. It just means that traders are perhaps being a little bit more cautious, which at the end of the day is good for all of us, right?
Well, that's what you would like to believe, that it's good for all of us. I mean, I think that ultimately what it means is that your 401k, it could go down in the near term, but people need to be, the average investor should be thinking about investing for the long term, not I'm going to get in and make thousands of dollars tomorrow. That's what traders try and do.
Okay.
But the average person has to think about it over the long haul.
For the next few decades. It's also corporate earnings season, the report cards as they call them, and there's some interesting news coming out from some of America's major companies.
Well, there are, and it's interesting because it's what it means for us as consumers in the future. Procter & Gamble, for example, says commodity prices are rising. So what does that mean for consumers in the future? Well, the maker of Tide, for example, may at some point have to start increasing its prices in order to pass those costs along to consumers and make some money for itself. Netflix is a great example of a company that has 20 million subscribers now and is showing that the American consumer is willing to spend money on discretionary things like movies because they're looking for a little bit of that. They're willing to spend a little bit of money. But on the flip side of that, Microsoft, while things are going well for Microsoft, they see some softness in the market for personal computers. And lastly, Amazon is the story of a company, the world's largest retailer online, showing that not all retailers are created equal. They actually didn't do as well with their online sales this holiday season as many were expecting.
Right, although we did see that ebooks are actually outselling paperback books, which goes back to your Netflix. We're sort of willing to spend perhaps a little bit more on things that we
are willing to spend on certain things, and it's just amazing to think about a sign of the times that ebooks on Amazon can outsell paperbacks. 105 ebooks to every 100 paperbacks sold on that website.
Just the beginning, I think,
I think so too.
Rebecca Jarvis, thanks for coming in this morning.